Michelle here. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that everyone's got, paper napkins. I collect them. You go on holiday, I'm sure, like I do, and you collect them, you see them and you buy them. Sometimes they remind you of where you've gone, and they're usually, this one is almost at the end of its run, but they have the four sides, as you know, and they come large and small. I've got quite an eclectic collection here, my New York one, San Francisco, all sorts of things here. Italy, lots of Italian ones. And then you spend time thinking about what you're going to do with them. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I've done as a textile person. A paper napkin normally has 3 layers. If you're going to use it, you peel off the back 2 layers. You don't have to throw those away, you can paint them and use them in other ways. But what I do with them, first of all, is maybe to bond that top layer, just that layer, to a background, and usually I use felt because it's nice and soft, so it's bonded with fusible webbing, and then I'll take it and maybe stitch it. There it is on the fusible webbing, on the felt, a larger piece of felt this time, because I may have put the webbing right around the outside and then I could foil it or add other things. In this case here, I have put the foil all round, and I've sponged it with different tea bags, and then I've scratched back the part of this to just give it that fresco-y sort of effect. Then I've stitched on it, so I added to it a little bit by stitching on the shapes of the pears, and then I have covered it with that gossamer fuse, that black gossamer fuse. Look at the beautiful text, see how it all breaks up, so it starts to look like an ancient set of pears that could be somewhere from ancient Rome or something like that. Then I've used part of the pears, I've cut the shapes out and to reapply them somewhere else. And then the other thing that I've done is I've taken my the 3 layers this time, not 1 layer, 3 layers, and I've stitched a grid. You can see the 3 sides, just a straight grid with straight stitch, etc., etc. And then when I've finished, I'll wash it out so that I've got a layer, wash it under water, because it's basically a rag, and then I could use it to put over the top in some way. So you can just different ways of building up a textured piece. I'll show you another one, which is my pears, my apples. I mean, they've sort of disappeared over time too. But again, I put my napkin onto a piece of felt with fusible webbing, and I have rubbed it all over and sponged it, in this case on the webbing, with tea bags, or you could spray it with colour, or you could put foils or anything like that. And I've scratched it back to make it sort of slightly worn. I've made that paper napkin grid with the 3 layers and washed it out, so you've got a feature underneath. I've cut some little ones, stitched them separately, cut them and popped them onto there. Here's lots that I've done that you could put into other things, so you can always look at your serviettes, your napkins, and see what features, what you could use them from. And then I've just done a few others where I've played around and done some stitching on the edge and so on and so forth, because it's very easy to stitch these. And there's another grid that I've popped on there. It's a sort of mindless, useful thing, little grid. It's very firm, and you can cut bits of that grid out and use tiny little bits on other things if you want to. And yet again, another grid ready to wash out, and another background where I've scratched it down. It's been falling apart, so it doesn't really matter. And another grid that's only partly, they've only been partly washed out, so you could wash them out and leave some quite definite, or break them right up. So there, I hope that's given you a few little ideas to play with paper napkins. Cheerio, see you again.